Hello, I chose to review two Harvard Business Review articles. The first being Structure Your Presentation Like a Story, and the second one is the Stellar Presentation. In the Structure Your Presentation Like a Story, the author suggests that by outlining your speech or your presentation like a story, you will reach the audience in a much more efficient and effective way. They suggest that you can manipulate people to be more open to what it is that you're presenting by creating, a story that makes them feel like you can be trustworthy, something maybe personal about your life that relates to the topic. If you juxtapose what they refer to as life as we know it to quote-unquote what life could be, it seems much more likely to the audience that what you're presenting is possible and is likely that it will be successful. This method of storytelling, again, is a way to gain the trust of your audience, and suggest the change that you're providing can be motivated. Otherwise, you could give what sounds like bad news, or suggesting that, if it's a team presentation, that they should be working harder than they already are. So that one just overall is, really consider your audience and tell them a story that they want to hear, as opposed to giving something that is more numbers heavy, more statistically heavy, as opposed to what they're suggesting is telling a story that the audience wants to hear. The second Harvard Business Review article was titled Stellar Presentation. In this article, the author suggests that there are three main things that you can do in order to be a better presenter or storyteller. And they also have two case studies that they use as proof to gain trust in us as the reader. And in these two case studies, they utilize the skills suggested earlier in the article, and they suggest that the outcome was successful and that it worked. And so they use this as like a proof of their theory of the three skills that you can use to be a better presenter. Those three skills are remembering that however nervous you may be, however sweaty or nervous or anxious, it's a lot harder for the audience to see that than it is for you to feel that. So, they just suggest, just forget about that. They also suggest that however important it is to practice your presentation in front of an audience, or they suggest that presenting in front of maybe people is a good way to start, but don't over practice, because this can make you seem robotic and not trustworthy, and just seem like they don't want to listen to you because it just does not sound compelling. And the third thing was research your audience. So really get to know who you're speaking to and shape your speech or your story around something that would be compelling to them. So if it's a bunch of scientists, it's okay to have a bunch of heavy scientific material, because they're going to understand that and that's going to be interesting to them. But if it's an audience of just general public, you really want to be concerned about, what's compelling to them, what do they want to hear, what's going to be interesting and keep them engaged. That is pretty much everything. I enjoyed both articles. I thought that they were very helpful in applying things that sound pretty normal, pretty normal suggestions for better speech giving and better storytelling. But I think that they do really kind of give you examples of why they work and how they work. So it's very informative and helpful in bettering our abilities as storytellers and speech givers.